Hey y'all, this is Dax Gentes. 2025 disc golf season in the bag. There might be more of these videos as the season goes on. If the bag gets updated, but right now this is what I got in here. This is what is getting me those L's in tournaments. So we will start with just my putters. Right now, what I'm working with is my Jawbreaker focuses. I got two of these. I kind of just toss them at the basket, hope they go in. Kind of flat to hyzer. A lot of wobble on them. That's probably because of me, though. And then, I putt with these. And then I have this in the bag just because, I love Anthony Barella. And he's the guy. Sometimes I'll throw with this. Just kind of like a hyzer flip. Sometimes I'll kind of just hit like a nasty stepper and airball it 10 feet over the basket, 30 feet long, and miss my comebacker. But works wonders for me. Then we have the Chris Dickerson PA3. It's probably backwards for you guys, but 300 plastic Prodigy, So definitely got a little bit of warp to it. Hit some trees with it. I kind of like to release this thing flat, let it kind of flies pretty straight, fades a little bit. Sometimes I'll kind of power it on a little bit of hyzer, let it flip up, ride, or I'll throw an ante and completely shank it. So got that in a used section for $6. Pretty nice, honestly. What else? We have for my putt and approach, I guess. I got my zone. Good trusty. I'll throw this thing backhand, forehand. Probably throwing this thing. Probably my 250 to 300 range is this. It's nice because I can either throw it flat, maybe a little bit of flex to get a little more distance, or if it's like a 260 foot shot, kind of throw in a little hyzer. I'll use this for approaches, kind of throw a wide forehand hyzer, let it drop in there, or sometimes I can throw a pushing flat shot and let it slide on up. Thing is definitely reliable for me. Got it at the Flower City Open last year, and pretty good disc. Probably my favorite Discraft disc, and spin in the back for a little bit. Toro, Halo Toro, got clowned on it for a bit. I don't really throw that much. It's pretty much just a zone for me. A little beefier. If I throw this thing, I kind of throw it with a little ante because it fights back hard a lot. I'll throw it kind of flat. I don't really like forehanding it. I will, but pretty much this thing does everything this does. Honestly, doesn't fly as far, and it's pretty much more overstable than the zone. So it's not horrible to have in the bag, but it's honestly kind of overshadowed by the zone. What do we have? Mid-ranges. I only have 3 mid-ranges in the bag because I think they don't feel great in my hand. And so the first mid-range we have is the Hex. Hex is great disc. This one's been in my bag for probably 2 years now. It's been a while. This thing I love throwing a little hyzer, let it flip up, or I throw it flat and turn. Really good with shot shapes. Kind of wherever I throw it on, it'll hold. Really nice. And this is my reliable mid-range I go to. Probably haven't been throwing it as much. Probably should throw it more, but that's a good one. Got my MD3. Shout out Hank Harlan. Gifted this to me because he probably pitied me. So he said he didn't like it. I took it. I like it. Pretty much as a point and shoot. Honestly, probably flies pretty straight. Wherever I put it on his holds, put it in hyzer holds, put it in flat holds, ante holds. So kind of just whatever you want. You just kind of throw it. It doesn't really stay in the air really long, so I kind of have to put a little behind it to get it to go. This thing maybe pushing 300, maybe 320 with this, but usually I'll go with the Hex or the MB3. Last one, Buzz OS. This thing has been in the bag for so long. This is probably the original disc in my original bag. I've probably had it for like almost 5 years now. Shout out Carson Gates gave this to me as one of my first ever disc, actually. Don't know why he was giving me a Buzz OS. But this thing, I really like to just throw flat, let it hyzer. Sometimes I'll throw it with forehands, but I kind of have the zone replacing this now. But yeah, this is pretty much just like my zone, but if I want a little more distance. So I'll throw this. But yeah, pretty good disc. Really like it. And yeah, it's done a lot of work for me over the years. Probably haven't been throwing it as much as I used to. But yeah, this thing used to be my workhorse, but it's kind of retired. So yeah. Now we got fairways. Fairways, I have a lot in the bag because I love them. I love my fairways. So we'll start with the Stig. Stig, I just put this in the bag a couple weeks ago, maybe. Just because I like that little hyzer flip and turn. So it's a very nice disc. Kind of crushes. This thing, I'll kind of just trust it through gaps a little bit. Kind of just throw it on hyzer. Cause I always kind of see it have a little more accuracy. Throw it on hyzer, kind of flip up, turn. Or honestly, I can just kind of throw it flat and high, let it turn. Just kind of something if maybe I don't trust my forehand as much. But I don't know. Trying to work this in the bag. Don't throw it a lot, but we're trying to figure it out. Cicada, shout out Will McNamara. I had a blue one. He gave me this one because I needed one that was a little flippier because I couldn't flip a Cicada. It was rough. Yeah, this one's 167, 169, a little lighter than my other one. This one I really like. I'll throw it a little hyzer flip up, maybe just dead straight, just push, get it to turn a bit. Yeah, this thing honestly I don't use it for more distance, more so maybe like 330, 340 range, just to kind of get that straight shot and maybe a little bit of turn and land soft, just so I don't have to put as much power behind this as I would a mid-range. So still trying to figure this one out too, as well as the Stig, but we kind of know this one a little more. Greg Barsby Eagle just put it in the bag. I've had it in my trunk of my car for a little bit and threw it the other day. So this thing is kind of, my Cicada, but a little more stable, and just kind of like I power it flat. Just slight turn, not really though. It's hold straight really well and gets a good hyzer at the end. Very nice disc. I'll throw it in forehand sometimes just to get a straight flight. But yeah, been trying to put this thing in the bag. Really nice, like it. And I like it because I like throwing Thunderbirds. And this thing just kind of has a little less distance to it, a little more control, so I like it. Trying to put this in the bag and incorporate more into my game too. Next we have Ricky T-Bird. Yeah, this thing, love this disc. Has or T-Bird 3, sorry. Love this disc though. I'll just throw it, right now it's kind of broken in, so I'll throw it flat, get a good turn, put a lot of power behind it. It goes pretty far, has a lot of glide to it, so this thing, honestly, I'll push to 360 to 380 just to trust that it won't go past anything really. Like, I know this thing won't shoot over a basket if it's like a 384 or something, so land nice. This thing takes a little more flight in the air, honestly. Still trying to figure it out. Kind of been releasing it a little flat and getting it to turn. Kind of working on the inside release. Need to trust it a little bit more. So, great disc though. And then now to my ones I love. Andrew Marweed Thunderbird. Got this bad boy in a used section. Very nice disc. Nice broken in disc. I'll put this thing just flat and it'll hold. Maybe you can get a little turn because it's broken in. Very nice, but does not burn over. And then it'll fade at the end really well. But this thing is just my kind of beefy right now. Well, it's not beefy. It's kind of like a little bit of workhorse. Really love this thing. Been throwing it nice. Yeah, don't throw this one on forehands really, mainly just backhand, just flat. Maybe get a little bit hyzer at the end. Kind of just keep it low, let it fly through. Same thing with this, probably get 360, 375 maybe. Not as much glide as my T-Bird 3, but really like this disc. Favorite disc in the bag, the Halo Thunderbird. Very beat in though. I've had this thing for probably almost a full year now, so got this one at Flower City Open as well. Very broken in. I mean, I've probably thrown this disc maybe 5 times every round I play. Has a lot of battle wounds. Have an ace with it, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this thing is very nice. I love the feel of the plastic. I also power this thing on sometimes just big spike hyzers, regular just low hyzers, skip shots, forehands. Sometimes I'll throw it just flat and just power it through stuff. But yeah, I just really like the look of this Thunderbird, and I picked it up, and yeah, it's been amazing for me. So love this thing, and it is sad I'll probably be a new one soon, but we'll probably might keep this one in the bag just because I love how beat in it is. But I've had to switch where I grab it just because the battle wounds. So that's it for fairways and mid ranges. We'll get to distance drivers. For distance drivers, we're gonna start off with the Kevin Jones Tour Series Max. This thing, I mean, it's technically a distance driver. I think you maybe do it as fairway driver. It's my utility disc, pretty much. Super beefy. I'll throw this thing big ante just to get flexes or forehands. Maybe just throw power over on ante, let it come back, or I'll just maybe skips. This one is just like kind of you get a pinch, cut off, can't really do much. Just to trust the stability of this thing. So yeah, not much more to say about that. Love Kevin Jones though. People have called me Kevin Jones or said my game reflects him. Maybe shout him out, you know. Get a duo. Me and Kevin Jones, you know. But next we have, we will do this Wraith. It's backstamp Wraith 167G, kind of light. This one was to replace my old. I used to have a Wraith that was kind of flippy. This thing is broken perfectly for that job. I'll throw this thing flat, get a nice turn, good flight. Sometimes even a little hyzer flip up. I got the Gengar face on it. Yes, I drew it myself, so if you can't really resemble the Gengar, that's why. But yeah, this disc, very good. Love it. Not very good for wind, though, because it's a little lightweight and it'll just flip over really bad. But very good disc to have in my bag. Next, we have the Halo Wraith. I never throw this thing. It is just in the bag as filler, pretty much. I will maybe throw it on forehands just because my forehand's so bad. I'll just try to, you know, get it, roll the wrist, obviously. Never throw this thing on backhand. If this thing's coming out of the bag, I'm probably playing a pretty bad round. I don't know why it's coming out of the bag. It is just in there as a filler. Next, we have the Six Claw Hades. Flippiest disc in my bag by far. I'll throw this thing on big hyzer, flip over, glide. Usually just do it for fun shots. Sometimes I'll try to roll over with it. Usually not. Yeah, this thing's kind of just like a funny little hyzer flip disc. Probably going to replace it soon, maybe not. Just kind of sits in the bag, doesn't really do much. If I'm pulling this out, it's very unique shot. So, yeah, I don't know. Nice disc. Got it at one of my first ever tournament with a payout. And it's just been in the bag, probably because of that. Next, we have this DD1. Very nice disc. Love it. I can just rip this thing flat. Love how it flies. It really good flat. Gets some turn of it now. Gets broken in. Nice and broken in. And it'll fly flat, get a little bit of turn. Good fade at the end. Not my biggest workhorse right now, just because I got a few other discs in the bag. But this thing is very reliable, especially if I'm just practicing shots. It's pretty much just like a more stable Wraith to a Destroyer right now for me, especially with how broken in it is. Amazing to have the bag. Next, we have the Evelina Destroyer. Very domey. This one's got a good heartbeat. I don't throw this thing much. Very lightweight, 163. I don't know. Can't flip it. I have a new alarm, I guess. But yeah, bought it. Thought it looked cool. Then the Philo ones came out. Philo ones are cooler. Don't have one. But this thing, if I'm throwing it, I'm probably throwing it because there's a tailwind. And I'm just trying to throw as hard as I can just to get as much distance. But honestly, this thing will probably be out of the bag soon. Don't throw much. Now, we have the last two discs. They're both Ricky Destroyers. This Ricky Destroyer, I put a Lucario outline face on it. Yes, I drew that. That's probably why it doesn't look that good. But this one's my more stable Ricky Destroyer. Been loving this thing. I throw it just as hard as I can on a little bit anti, pretty much just flat. Get a nice straight, little good fade at the end. This thing has been in my bag for a while. Ricky Destroyer. Love throwing this thing. A little bit hyzer now, or flat. Gets a nice turn, so very beat in. Got ran over by a car actually, not too long ago. So it's been a little flippy. This thing is probably my go-to disc if I'm throwing a big drive. Been loving the way this thing flies, and yeah, this thing will probably be in the bag forever. And then this thing will probably start to take over the spot of this, and then we'll have to find a replacement. But yeah, very good disc here. Love them both. And yeah. And then I guess we have the bag. Shout out Aiden Jeffries. Gave it to me for free because my old bag broke, and I refused to buy a new one, and he gave it to me. And so, yeah, that's my in the bag. My favorite disc is the Halo Thunderbird by far. And yeah, like, subscribe, drop a comment down below if you want to see other stuff like this. I may be doing it voluntarily, maybe not. Tag Gavin Babcock, hashtag Wrestling Gang, tag Kevin Jones, hashtag I'm his twin, I guess, and tag Calvin Heinberg, because it's Calvin Heinberg, and AB just because I love AB. And that's it. 2025, Dax Gentes in the bag. Pound it, dog, and see ya.